Hello everyone, welcome to another European capital that I have circled around before once when I went all the long hard way on this Parisian ring road right here. Today a different approach to the city of love. I'll be traveling with street view along the Seine river. Someone has recorded that beautiful sight. And if you're interested in cities as seen from a river, maybe you want to check out London by boat. I will link it right here, if I don't forget it. I mean, how often do you see YouTube videos where someone says it and there's nothing linked? Let me be a different YouTuber. What else is there to say? Well, Paris is a strange city in that sense. I just want to get it out there because it's kind of on my heart. It's a strange city in that sense that it has 11-12 million inhabitants, but they mostly live between this ring road and here. If you imagine, there are some circles around it. In fact, let me show you on this map. This is a map of the very, very biggest metropolitan area of Paris you could think of, and the black thing on the map is actually the administrative unit border of Paris, which really just spans the ring road but also incorporates these two parks on either side. So it's rather small, and there are 2 million people living. So 10 million people are living in these orange, pink and yellow areas. And I was wondering, why is that, you know? And somehow it has to do that these were the original walls of, I don't know, some fortress, and the borders are so tight since 1860. But of course the city has been growing, and if they would expand it, they would kind of expand it into other departments, and I guess it would be difficult. But I guess also, you know, I cannot help myself to think that that's the way a Parisian would want it, you know, keep it very exclusive and small. And we're not going to be going much more on the Seine other than within the administrative boundaries of Paris, which is kind of, let's say, from here to here. So, without further talking about it, let's start. Here is the water street view I'm hoping for. We can call ourselves lucky. We have a beautiful boat, beautiful driver. And even though we seem to be quite central, on the shore it looks relatively industrial. For all I know, just looking at this, it's not too different from London, you know? That style of houses, these barricades here. It's not too different when we did London by boat. It also started with such. But it was quite enjoyable, if anything. So let's just go. Maybe I should have started on the other side, then I wouldn't be having the boat in front of me. Although this is good, because then we see actually what's happening on the boat. We see if someone joins us. I think it's better this way, it's more interesting. Some mall. Actually a mall with the most generic shops in you can think of. H&M, McDonald's, Carrefour. And you know, as regular watchers, viewers of this channel might know, if there are even any regular viewers, I'm always interested to show you cities and places from obscure, different angles. And of course with Paris, a city that has received so much hate on this channel, it is no different. July 2014, by the way, this is also officially Google commissioned. Surprised these guys don't wear Google jackets. And yeah, very old. I'm surprised such doesn't get updated. I mean, it would be nice to see, well, imagine you could see side by side the difference of 10 years in these street views, you know, what has been added. I think it would help a lot to understand how cities are growing and what kind of places are being taken away or deconstructed or destroyed, and what kind of places are being built. But yeah, it's not the time yet. There are other boats, some of them barges that transport stuff, some of them more private boats. Here we have just crossed, by the way, into the administrative unit of Paris from the administrative unit of Val-de-Marne. This has been pronounced wrongly, not on purpose. But anyway, what's happening under these bridges? Nothing. As we come closer to the city center, I will try to elaborate a little bit on what we can see. If I can, I'm by no means an expert in Paris. I have been in Paris, but yeah, this is forever ago, was just for a week, and I don't think I've left even the city center. So given this trip, this is still pretty outskirts for most Parisians, I guess. Depends what kind of bridges are of relevance here. This is a bridge that we just don't seem to be able to. Now we have managed, wow. We got really stuck there almost. Oh wow, what in the world is this? This is a boat lighthouse combination. It's actually very interesting. So a boat that serves as a mobile lighthouse? Would you need that when it's like foggy or something on the Seine River? It's pretty unique. This looks like some Le Corbusier architecture. Might also just be a rather random building. On the right side there will be an arena that we may be able to see, a court arena. Oh, what's this? This is like some swimming pool. It's a swimming pool. Apparently temporary. Temporary. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I tell you, you know, if you take a boat trip in such a city, you really see places. You see the kind of sides of the edges of the city coming in on both sides, you know. You see, I don't know, graffitis, you see homeless people sleeping somewhere here, you see walkways, passage throughs you just would never see from the land. And why would you? It's very boring. But anyway, nice bridge that gets further away and soon will be crossed. Yes, there you go. Or not? Did we cross it now? Ah, yeah, the same strange experience. So we go closer, then we click further, and then we are through. Quite astonishing. Yeah, loads of big buildings in this part of Paris. On the right side there is some train station, which Gare de Lyon. I don't know if it's one of the biggest in Paris, I'm sure. Gare du Nord is kind of big. Here we have a building that, yeah, one might say references the Centre de Pompidou. Will I be able to get back? This was just a wild exit. Never let them know your next move. Centre de Pompidou with these walkways. Now it's on the other side. It's really hard to keep track, but I would say by now I'm relatively experienced. Now it's on this side again. Confusing to say the least. This bridge looks very different from all sorts of other bridges. This looks very raffinesse mechanics. Quite nice. This like simplified tree structure that keeps it. What bridge is this? Pont Charles de Gaulle. Yeah, of course. I mean, this is named after Mr. Charles de Gaulle. Of course, it's not going to be an ordinary bridge, just like this one here. It's a special bridge. The water of the Seine in middle of summer looks cold. It has a little bit of turquoise touch to it, not like the River Thames, which has a little bit of mud touch to it. But it doesn't look particularly inviting. I remember when there was this year the Summer Olympics in Paris, there was this whole debate whether or not they should swim do some swimming competitions in the river Seine, and you know, if it's not maybe too dirty and too polluted, contaminated. And yeah, obviously it doesn't look like it, you know, but if you take some water samples, you might find all sorts of things you thought for long that are extinguished. All sorts of illnesses and viruses thought not to exist anymore since hundreds of years. With the trees on the side and some somewhat residential houses on this behind them, it appears to become more urban and more central for that reason. Now the river Seine makes a sort of bend through the city center of Paris, and that bend we should be embarking on rather soon. And we landed on land. I don't know what the boat did here. I mean, if Google authorizes it, one would think that... Let's go back to the water. Oh, this was cool. One would think that it works better, you know? But yeah, what can I say? Here is some island that we will pass on the left, or if you go the other way, on the right. And on one of these islands is the very interesting person, Karl Lagerfeld, has been living there. If I find his apartment, I will gladly point it out to you. I'm not too sure if it was. It might be here. If I could only zoom out a little bit more. Let me have a quick look. No, it will be coming up further ahead. But yeah, in a similar living situation, like what we see at the moment. Straight ahead is Notre Dame. I know this because, you know, when the tower or parts of this cathedral, holy cathedral, burned, there was an architectural competition to design or come up with, you know, rather creative ideas to redesign it, you know. Will you just restore how it looked before? Maybe you could put some glass there. Very, really cool ideas. But yeah, for fun, I've participated in this competition and made some design suggestions. I really don't know what that was anymore, but yeah, part of that was to get really acquainted with the structure of it, and it's very iconic, of course, especially since it's in Paris. I mean, there are other nice cathedrals, let's not ignore that. Here it gets very tight. It'd be actually interesting to see if, I mean, this island here, is this an artificial island, or was it always there? You know, it's quite interesting because it splits the river in two. It's quite big in itself, you know, very expensive real estate ground, you know, in the middle of the water. You can close all the bridges and you're private. Although, yeah. Here's where, this is also what I was interested in, where young Parisians chill out. Here in the shadow of these walls, police driving up, they're engaging in some activities that I will not name. But yeah, that's the fun you get to see from the riverside, really. Looks a bit dirty. This. And anyway, it looks cold, a little bit uncomfortable, but yeah, that's how it is sometimes, despite Paris actually getting quite hot in summer, you know, and all the poor people who pay 1,500 euros to live on a 20 square meter attic are completely sweating. But that's the price to pay. These people are hanging out below this tree, actually very nice, at the tip of the quai there. Did I now forget you to show Karl Lagerfeld's home? I think I did. Forget to point it out, which is my own shortcoming. I have to go back. So basically, he lives up here somewhere, right? So this is the island. He lives on the island. It might be a house like this, a house like this, house like... I think he owns a whole, yeah, let's call it a townhouse of such kind. And it's quite high up, you know, if in case there should be ever some flooding from the Seine River, which I haven't heard of. Seems to be quite stable. But yeah, in case anyone was interested. Now, Point Neuf in front of us is quite famous, of course. Oops, we changed the boat. Unintentional. That's what happens when two people take the same journey and there are just two lines that are kind of overlapping. Google will give you, I suppose, the newer footage. I would have rather stayed with this older one though. The weather seemed to be the same, a bit more sunny on the other one. Yeah, what else can we say? Bit of strange glitch here. There are these more touristic boats here on the side. I mean, this is relatively central Paris. What we will also come across is the Eiffel Tower. And I should still show you the Eiffel Tower, you know. I am now at a point in my life where I want to go to Paris and not see the Eiffel Tower, you know. Not a single time. Not at the end of a road. Not over arching a house. And certainly not go there in person. But I guess it's not so easy. Musée d'Orsay is this building here on the left. An art museum by the looks of it. Alternatively, this could have been a very nice train station. But then it would need some rails and wagons. Actually, in my mind, you know, the river Seine in Paris is not so wide as it appears now here. I mean, this is maybe 200 meters, but I thought it would be even smaller, you know, like the Spree River that goes through Berlin, which is so unremarkable in so many parts of it that you almost don't notice it ever. And certainly there's no endless promenade on the river like you have in Paris. And it's such a pity, you know, like the inability of a city to make its, you know, natural resources more prominent kind of saddens me from an urban planning point of view. So this looks like a very famous bridge, and it is Pont Alexandre III. It has a little bit of gold on the side. Oh, actually, also some angels. And is this the French? Yeah, sorry, the French chicken logo, the French rooster. Maybe, huh? Some tours in these kind of heated bubbles. Maybe they're not heated. I'm just keep on thinking it's actually winter, but it should be quite warm still at the moment. By the way, if I didn't say it already, the boat we are on is rather lovely. Wooden boat, white roof. Hard to beat, you know. A sailing boat as well, but maybe it wasn't particularly windy, although the water tells a different story. Yeah, alright then. On the left is the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower stands in this sort of like, the river bends around it a little bit, you know. That's something I have to say. Yeah. I remember that when I was in Paris, I went to see, I suppose more or less coincidental, the Statue of Liberty, or the copy of the Statue of Liberty in Paris. And it was by the water, so I should kind of try to see if I find it once I'm done going in one direction here. Because it was quite interesting and I would like to show it to you. If I can. Let's go to this bridge here. Well, of course, the area around the Eiffel Tower is, you know, a very big designed park, and this bridge is just, you know, integrated in this whole landscape design. Yeah, quite majestic. A bit like a TV tower in a way, you know, a nice TV tower. I think the fact that it has this bend makes it just so elegant. If it didn't have this and was just kind of triangle, yeah, would be a different story, but let's not lose our minds over an object of such profanity. And let's just venture on. Look and search for some interesting parts. Again, like the outskirts. Well, we're not. I mean, this is very central. Obviously, the Eiffel Tower is literally just there, but it kind of doesn't look like we are in the center so much. If you look, what's going on the shore? Oh, hi mate, just taking a breather. Yeah, and as I said before, it's kind of like it just starts to look like London really, or any other British city out here. This could be Canary Wharf. Now we have because of this bend, we get the Eiffel Tower more or less in a better, we can look through it from this perspective, relatively smooth. All these high rises here, what is this area called then? It's maybe not so easy to identify. Centre Commercial. Charles Michael's Metro Stop. Beau Grenelle. Let's just call it the Parisian Canary Wharf. Or Docklands. Some research vessel. Fédération des Industries Nautiques. I should never really make another video in France. I mean, it's just horrendous. I didn't even have French in school, you know. Some people would say, yeah, well, I can pronounce it, but I don't know what it means. Well, I can do nothing with it. I feel more confident in Spanish. My approach to the French language has been mainly to pronounce only half of the words or 3/4 of the words. Like if the word is point, I would say point. That's just how it is. Maybe it's a good pro tip, maybe it's horrendous. This I absolutely adore. It could be even bigger, you know, just this like massive wall block on the side here. But actually quite nice, you know. Again, looks very Le Corbusier and it's, I don't know, somehow cute. Somehow cute. Because, you know, one day we should actually do this. Look at these crazy buildings that are in the outskirts of Paris. This crazy architecture that has evolved there. There's just nothing like it, you know. Even something like the Barbican in London is a joke against what has been built in the suburbs and outskirts of Paris. Yeah, maybe one day I return to the city of love. But the world is so big, you know, there's so much to show you. Here again, some industry. I wouldn't be surprised if our footage stops sooner or later. Actually, it goes on for quite a while. Which makes me wonder to what extent we should follow it. Actually a little bit more, because we will be crossing just after this bridge. We'll be finished with the city limits of Paris. Oh, what are you? Is this like some kind of gate and a bigger ferry can dock there? Hello, yeah. I guess they also noticed that we just left Paris. Nice balloon. Well, hey, but let me have a look at this. Let me try to find this Eiffel Tower. Alright, it's down here. Let's have a quick look at it. I really thought it's on the completely other side. Here it is. Quite cool, huh? That's something maybe not everybody knows. Must have overlooked it when we passed by Canary Wharf. Wow, look at this monster of a building. Looks like a basilisk. Well, anyway, yeah, the Statue of Liberty of Paris. think as a sort of like friendship gift or friendship display between the US, the transatlantic nations. It has been put here, and it is quite nice. One can even be directly in front of it. Yeah, pretty slick. I remember when I was here, it was very grey and gloomy. Obviously, it doesn't look so inviting on either side. Pretty nice. Hey, but thanks for watching. I think this was interesting. Paris seen from a different perspective, and I hope, the video will bring you some enjoyment whilst you're cooking in the kitchen or doing some other household stuff. Take good care and bye bye.